Hey everybody, John King here with JK Welding. We got a special live show today. We're coming from all views of all cameras today. We're live on just about every platform there is to be known to man, along with
Tara Dotson, marketing manager of JK Welding, and then also Trails West.
Yep.
And so we've got a lot of really great questions and topics for you. The followers had a lot of questions from the last time we were live. So I'm really excited to ask you some of these. I've kept some of them quiet so that I can get your true response for these. So I'm really excited. And just to start off, you have a new Instagram account, don't you?
Yeah. Did you notice?
I did. And what's it called so everybody can go look it up?
The King of Welding.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So why did you start it?
Well, I started the King of Welding because I was finding myself like kind of bored when I had done my own marketing for so many years until I hired you, which was great. And it's been great ever since. But I haven't had the ability to like freely post some stuff other than my Facebook account that I have. So
probably missing that creative outlet there too.
Creative outlet, the ability to create videos or just post some stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I draw a pretty thick line between content that's postable for corporate business versus
mm-hmm.
my personal page, you know, and I never had a personal Instagram page. So I created one and it's allowed me to post a few things. And hey, you want to see what's going on? Like to see the things that I'm posting on there? Just go check out the King of Welding. There's some interesting things on there, right?
Very interesting. I think you might have even gotten in trouble a few times.
Yeah,
by a certain marketing manager.
Yeah, I had to erase a couple of videos. We're not going to talk about that.
Speaking of that, one of the things that the followers wanted to talk about was just choosing platform specific. What is the difference between what you would post maybe on your company page versus that personal page? And what is that line? Because you mentioned you have one.
Yeah, I do have one. It might not be the same line as everyone else, but I've always fed off into the facts of, what is postable content for a company or for a corporation mm-hmm. versus personal things. Now, I've always been a kind of a person where I don't connect with everyone, like on Facebook, and I keep my personal life kind of a little at arm's length, I guess you'd say, you know. So there's a lot of times where I want to post stuff, but I don't feel like it's welding associated or affiliated, or it's just not postable content. Not that it's bad, it's just not postable content for a corporation. So the Instagram account has really helped out with me being able to post content that's not so company or so corporate,
Yeah, and I think JK Welding, we kind of go along that line of like what a typical corporation would post, and then also like what we post as a fab shop, because last week we had a little incident in the parking lot here, and we definitely made the best out of some, for lack of a better word, stupid happening in the parking lot. We had some employees lock a set of keys in the welding truck. And so I saw this happening and I ran out there and I got video of it, and they mentioned how they were concerned that this guy was going to come out there and see it. So being the good marketing manager I am, I made sure that he came out and see it, and I got on video.
Yeah.
So I came and got you. And what was your initial thought whenever I told you what was happening?
Well, you said there was some guys who locked some keys in the company truck. Little did I know it was my own personal welding truck.
Yeah, I left that part out.
Yeah. So when I went outside, and it was awful bright outside, so I grabbed my sunglasses and then I started looking, and I'm like, why is there so many employees around that welding truck over there? It's a welding truck that we've had here ever since I've started, and it doesn't go out on as many jobs as it used to. So, but I'm very close to that truck, and so when I saw there's 5 or 6 employees around the company truck, and they're all climbing all over it, and they got all these coat hangers, and I'm like, oh, that's the truck she's talking about. So I walked over there, and of course, every one of them were like pretty nervous and scared.
Oh, yeah.
I was walking over there and wondering what's going on with this truck, left the keys in it, and it was running. And little do they know that when I used to run the rig myself, that I used to, hit the lock button with the, the wrist bone. It's just located in the right, on the right exact spot. On your way out, you hit it, and you don't even realize it because it locks pretty quiet. So you don't even realize that you've locked the truck and it's running. So I was a frequent flyer as far as getting the truck unlocked, but it takes a stainless TIG rod in order to be stout enough to go around and punch the unlock button to get the door open. So they were trying with a coat hanger, which didn't work.
No,
so,
you showed them how.
Yeah.
But by the way, we did have a set of spare keys. It was just a lot of fun to make them sweat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're in the safe in there. Yeah.
Yeah, but the way you handled that, I think that just goes to show, because we got a lot of comments on TikTok too about how, that's a pretty cool boss. Like, as a business owner, handling something like that, I think a lot of owners might take that opportunity to get mad and pissed off, but you didn't do that.
No, there's no need for it, because I've done it many times myself.
Exactly. You've been in their shoes, you know, it happens.
But the anticipation from the employees is they think that you're going to be upset, because they did something that's not normal, and they think they did something wrong, which they did, so.
Yeah, but I think that goes a lot into how you treat your employees and, just the way you handle a business.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
And going off of that, the weight you carry as a business owner, I think that's something that, the way you handle situations like that happening, but then taking care of your employees. So one of the questions that someone had was, have you ever had to go home without a paycheck or make a tough call like that in order to support those employees?
Man, if you're in any kind of position as I am become myself into over the years, you've definitely gone home without a paycheck. There's not every week that you do get a paycheck. If you're going to start a business and you're striving to climb and increase your business and do well and make it grow, there are going to be a lot of times where you don't get a check. You go home without one, and you just survive and you get through it. You be tough about it. There's been a lot of times that's happened and throughout many years.
You got to take care of those that take care of your business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The employees come first. If I can take $1 out of my pocket to give it to an employee who deserves it as well, I'm happy to do that. I always have been. Yeah.
Wow. And that really goes into, I think you have a saying about the 3 Ps, and that would go kind of into the people part of what you're talking about. If you want to explain a little bit more about that.
3 Ps, always live by 3 Ps. But if you have 3 Ps, you end up getting 4. And what that means is 3 Ps stand for people, process, and product. If you have good, skilled people and you have a confirmed, process that you do at your company, whatever you're doing, cabinet making or welding or whatever it is that you're doing, you have a confirmed process that you go through with your company that makes a good product. That's the 3rd P. So good people make, and a good process, make good product. If you can get all 3 Ps in line of doing that, then profit comes automatically. That's what I've always kind of lived by, and that's what I've always told people, and it seems to work and stick,
Simple, but very helpful.
It is.
Yeah.
It is very helpful. Yes, it is. Yeah.
So what is something that as a business owner you wish you would have known whenever you first started JK almost 16 years ago, right?
Yeah, 16 years ago, 2 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So some of the things I wish I had known when I started that I know now, how important contracts are to put in place when you're doing work for someone, especially out in the field. You don't need a contract for every job that we get awarded here at JK Welding, but especially it pertains to like jobs out in the field. And that's really important because the factor of working in the field is the unknown. Any of you guys, any of you companies or people that work out in the field, the liability. You understand the risk that you're taking when you're going to work out in the field because, anything from Mother Nature to other trades being in your way, or you may be getting affected by what other trades are doing on the same job that you're working on. So a lot of those things are big factors into working in the field. So contracts are very important.
Yeah, you got to have that paper trail. And I think that's important with any industry, really. It's
just
having that paper trail.
Not just welding.
There's a money exchange of any kind for a service, you need to have that contract
Absolutely.
in place.
Yeah, contracts are very important.
Yeah, and it's something very simple, but I think a lot of people would overlook there at the beginning because they're just trying to get that business in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So as when you're starting a business, you have a lot of equipment to buy and there's cash flow things. So what are your thoughts on buying equipment versus the cash flow that you have?
Well, that can be answered a lot of different ways depending on how big a person's company is, whether that's, just 2 employees or whether it's like maybe 100 or 1,000 employees, the different things go in factors in different ways. I'd say from the medium to smaller size companies, a lot of that's factored in and whether you need the equipment. And if you need it, don't buy it just because you think you need a tax write-off. It's good and great to have, purchased equipment for a tax write-off. but it's not necessary. That's just an added value and an added, something extra that you can do to help your taxes. But if you're in need of equipment, the way I've always looked at it, if I'm in need of equipment, I consider the cost factor. And if a job that I have that's coming up that's going to help pay for maybe like a third of the machine, it's best to go ahead and buy it. Because and that opens up new doors for other processes within your company. But you also have someone that's giving you a job that's helping pay for it, to where before that or after that, you don't have anything to go towards the value to purchase the equipment. So it's best to do it then.
Yeah, have that purpose.
Yeah.
So we get this question almost every day, I think, on the different platforms is, are we hiring? And going into that is, what do you look for in a welder when you are hiring one?
There's several things to look for in an employee or possible future employee, depending on what role they're applying for. That's open at the time. For instance, like a welder. A lot of it has to do with, first of all, just being on time, showing up. I mean, that's factor number one. If you can show up and get here on time, then that's a big check. That's a good thing. The other things are attitude. Knowing that you can possibly play well with others, you're well spoken, you look someone in the eye. Those are those most common things that we like to look for. As far as welding and fabrication, anybody can tell you they're a welder. Anybody can tell you they're a fabricator. They can say whatever they want, but the true meaning, and they show their true colors when they get out in the shop. That's when their resume, that's when their resume really reflects on who they are, not what's on paper or what they say.
Show it.
Yeah.
So speaking of the shop, it's pretty hot out there. And it gets pretty hot in the summers here in Texas. It's actually hot year round in Texas. What's something that you do to boost that employee morale in the hot times and then also just year round?
Well, during the hot times, during the summer months, we usually do it for like 3 months. If anybody knows who the Kona Ice truck is, that is actually like a snow cone truck. We have it come here once a week. I kind of think it's a little morale booster, and it's great, and it tastes great.
Definitely a nice paid break.
It is. It costs a few $100s, and we have the Kona Ice truck come here, and everybody can go out and get an icy and take an extra 10 or 15 minutes during the hot summer. And it actually gives all the employees an opportunity to kind of just sit back and relax, know that they're appreciated for all the hard work they're doing, especially when it's so hot. Especially with the humidity.
Yeah, definitely.
But other things that we've done throughout the rest of the year, maybe not when it's as hot. It wasn't too long ago, we went to Spring Creek Barbecue.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah,
very good.
Nice. Yeah. Took all the employees to Spring Creek Barbecue in appreciation of all their hard work and a good safety record for the last 6 months. So that was a good event that we had attended to, and we paid for, and we were happy to do it. Yeah.
And I think those little things as a company, just doing those little things, even though for a big company like this, it's probably a small cost, it's such a big impact on the employees and just how much you mean to them or they mean to you.
Both ways. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So going back to starting your own business and the cash flow and all of that stuff, can you get too big too fast? Should they kind of pump the brakes, or how does that work? And what are your thoughts on that?
That's all within set of the skill mind of the person that is creating it. It all depends on how fast you want to go and how fast you want to grow. I've seen companies go from 0 to $10 million in like 5 years. I mean, if you have the ability, you have the pockets that are lined and deep enough to support that, and the skilled personnel. That goes back to the 3 Ps again. People, process, and product. If you have those 3 in place, you have the money, and hey, you can be very well, very successful. I think during the most average person trying to start a business, you can get too big too fast, and then when it comes crashing down, it's a hard life to live. I started this company off of the values and the mindset of I did not want to have 1 or 2 or maybe 3 big customers and then not have any other customers, because if one customer drops you, then you're screwed.
Yeah.
You're screwed over. And you're worrying that night, and you don't know what you're going to do. You don't know how you're going to make payroll, that kind of stuff. So you can get too big too fast, in my opinion, depending on what industry you're in and who you are and how much money you got.
Lay a good foundation.
Laying good foundation.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So we told the followers we're going to be doing some giveaways, and I think they've waited long enough.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the giveaways we're doing, we actually have not posted anything about these before, and there's quite a nice story behind it.
Yeah.
And pardon me if I have to go off screen to pat my eyes a little bit, but we have this little welding truck here that was handcrafted by an 87-year-old man, and it's just an absolutely beautiful story. Can you tell a little bit about how you even met this guy?
Yeah, it's a little welding truck. Everybody on the King of Welding page can see that. Everybody else, it's a little welding truck. So I met this older gentleman. I say he's older. He's 80 at the time, 85 years old, at a farmer's market, and he had all these handcrafted trucks and bulldozers and 18-wheelers for sale. And my little boy, who's now 7, saw an 18-wheeler and wanted to buy it. And I asked the gentleman how much he wanted for it, and he told me $25. And
that's it.
That's it, $25. And I'm like, how long does it take you to make it? And he said 10 hours. I'm like, man, you're working for like $2 an hour plus material. So I didn't think it was right, for what he was doing. He wasn't charging enough. But I had asked him, how many trucks have you sold today? Or how many 18-wheelers, how many dozers or backhoes? And he said, I ain't sold any.
Oh, and how long have you been there?
He'd been there 2 days. And he'd been in Pearland, Texas, like the weekend before. And he had not sold any there as well. So I went over and told him, hey, he had 4 large tables full of all kind of handcrafted trucks and dozers and 18-wheelers and stuff like that. And I told the older gentleman, I said, I'll go ahead and take everything you got. And he says, everything? I said, yeah. And he says, are you sure? I said, absolutely. Otherwise, I wouldn't be telling you this. And so he started rounding up all these trucks and toys that he had handcrafted. And I told him, I'll even take the plastic containers that come in. And he started crying, and his younger son was there, and it was a very touching moment. It really was. Yeah. And we loaded up all the trucks and all the 18-wheelers and stuff in the back of my truck, and actually my wife's truck. And a couple weeks later, he brought this over, and I really liked it. So little welding rig with JK on it. So a couple years have gone by now, and I messaged his son to see how he was doing, and he was doing well. He's 87 years old now, still making trucks, and so I ordered about 20 more of these, and we're going to give one today, but the rest of them we're going to donate them to the kids at the Probably Texas Children or Memorial Hermann Hospital, something like that. So we're going to give this away today. But what does everybody got to do to win this little truck for your kids?
So in order to win, what you have to do is comment. We're going to ask a question, and then you just have to comment. And the first one to comment that we're going to pick from the comments, and then we'll DM you after the live show ends. So the question for the truck is, which platform is your favorite to post on? That's all you got to comment. That's it. And if you comment that, we'll know you're wanting to enter the giveaway, and then we'll DM the winner after the show.
Yeah. Everybody likes the truck. I see a couple comments there. That's
awesome.
Good.
All right. So the next giveaway we have, we're going to do a little bundle of a hat, a shirt, our brand new shirt, actually, if you want to show it off.
Yeah, we can. So everybody can see the new style of shirts.
So it's a brand new design.
It's called Weld as One. Yeah. And of course, on the back of it, JK. So we're going to give away these new shirts, and they're very extremely soft. So
very soft.
Yeah.
And then one of the new hats, and then a coffee tumbler, the travel mugs. So in order to win that bundle, you have to comment. All you have to do is comment, where is JK Welding located?
Just simple.
Yeah, pretty simple. Comment the town.
She's
Google it if you got to.
On you guys. Yeah, I'd make them harder than that.
So that's all you got to comment. And then again, we'll DM the winner after this. Right.
Good deal.
And we'll do some more giveaways later on, but we can go into maybe the next topic. One of the things that some of the followers were talking about was getting into becoming a business owner, getting into welding, all of that. What if they're not wanting to take that college route, that stereotypical college 4-year program route? What are some other options that they have?
Well, I'll tell you now, as I do in all my speeches and all my talks with especially younger generations are looking to do that. And you feel kind of reluctant to take that big leap, you know, that big step in life to go into business for yourself, because you don't feel like you're educated enough, you know. But hey, college ain't for everybody. It's not. College wasn't for me. I didn't go to college. But if you're not going to go to college, but you want to start a business, at least take a couple courses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can at least do that. For you guys that are looking to start or venture off and taking that leap, and you want to start a welding and fabrication company, or even just like a company that builds cabinets, or maybe you're like a trim carpenter or whatever, you know, the measurements are important. So understanding your math is very important just in life general. But also as far as fabrication and welding goes, taking some courses to understand drawings and blueprints is very important. So at least take a couple of courses in that, because welding is only a third of welding. What that means is there was 2 other traits and 2 other personnel people that touched the product or designed the product before you had a chance to weld it. You know, there's engineers, there's architects that design the product. There's a fitter who actually cuts it, the material, and fits it together before you weld it. So knowing those 2 steps or those 2 occupations prior to you welding is very important. It makes you more versatile. It makes you very more, you know, worth more money. You become a more valuable asset of the company. Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. And what are some good, if they want to go the trade school route, what are some good ones in the area and across the nation that they could consider?
Well, as far as welding schools go, you know, I always like the welding schools that do more than welding. We just talked about that, you know, and running a CNC plasma machine, getting to know that or learn that, welding pipe, welding structural, fitting pipe, beveling pipe, know how to fit pipe, know how to fit structural, run a torch, maybe some brazing, some TIG welding, you know, all that together is, you're going to find all these types of things that you want to learn to be more valuable, to become more of an asset. So why not go to a school that offers all that kind of things? And, you know, I think some of the leading welding schools, to my knowledge of what I've experienced with, you know, like, you know, welding schools that are out of Texas, you know, we got Western Welding Academy up in, you know, Wyoming. And, you know, that's a great school.
I see them on TikTok.
Yeah, Tyler Sassy's up there. He does a great job. Holler out to Tyler. You guys are wanting a good pipe welding school. That is like one of the best pipe welding schools around.
Wow.
As far as in the Houston area, you know, I get the calls and emails and messages all the time, nearly weekly, if not daily. Hey, my son or my kid, or hey, I'm wanting to go to a welding school. Can you help me out? You know, the welding schools that I'm familiar with, you know, Mainliners is a great school. Scott Robbie's got an awesome school that he has, Precision Welding Academy. Arc Labs is a great welding school as well. Elite Pipe Welding over in South Houston. You know, those are the 4 that I know of that I've experienced with. The guys are really nice. They're really helpful. They're affordable. They offer multi-processes to get you where you need to be and let you learn what you need to learn in order to be successful.
Wow, that's some really great information.
It is. And shout out to all those guys that having those welding schools, they spend a lot of time. They dedicate themselves. They do a good job.
Yeah, that's awesome. So one of the things we talked about a little bit was about how welders are artists, and kind of what comes with being a welder sometimes is tattoos, which tattoos in the workplace sometimes are taboo in some industries. What are your thoughts on tattoos, and just what are your thoughts on tattoos in the workplace?
Tattoos are somewhat expected.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, half the welders in the world are freaking outlaws, you know, so, you know, it doesn't bother me at all. I don't mind tattoos. In fact, I like tattoos. Do I have any? No, I don't. But that doesn't mean that, you know, I'm don't like other people having tattoos. But no, tattoos in the workplace are fine. I have no problems or issues with that at all, you know.
Yeah, I think you can still be totally professional and have them. It's not.
Sure, it's a way to
all
express
personal
yourself,
preference,
and it's you know, it's been around forever, and it's becoming more and more popular over the last, you know, 10 or 15 years.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we get a lot of questions from up and coming welders that are concerned because if they do have tattoos, coming in for an interview, all that stuff. So I would tell them maybe don't worry about it as much. Just be more concerned with your trade and your professionalism and being on time and those things. And let that
tattoos
speak
are great
for yourself.
Yeah, tattoos are good. Yeah.
So not having gone to college, how did you figure out all of the accounting and taxes and the money side of the business? Because even having gone to college, I didn't learn any of that in college. So how did you figure all of that out?
Well, I've always been like a numbers guy, always ran my math in my head pretty well. I was always pretty good in math. Not that I was a really high scoring student in high school, but I've always liked numbers. And that's a good thing, being a welder and a fabricator, not just for helping accounting or helping manage the books or balance the books, but in fabrication as well. And this leads off into why numbers are important, to knowing how to balance your checkbook, how much money you have. You have to know that, So a lot of people, I don't know anyone who balances their checkbook anymore,
no.
to be honest with you.
My app does it for me.
Oh yeah, see, you couldn't do that when I started. You had to do it yourself physically, So knowing how much money and balancing the books is important. Balancing your checkbook, learn that in high school. So that's how I went through it. As far as like CPA and taxes and stuff like that, I hired a CPA, and I still have a CPA, and I've had 3 or 4 out throughout the many 15 or 16 years. To me, if you're going to have a business, don't do your taxes yourself. Get a CPA that can do them for you, and you'll come out better at the end. Yeah, because they know all the laws and in-laws, because those laws change like every couple months.
Have a professional.
Because they know the laws and they know more than you, and they're going to hopefully get you into all the benefits that you can, retrieve off of whatever tax year of taxes you're trying to file.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're running out of time here, so why don't we do one last giveaway?
Sure.
And so I'm going to make it super easy on y'all this time, even though he says I've been making it easy the entire time. All you have to comment to win the next bundle, and again, it's going to be a shirt, a tumbler, travel coffee mug, and then a hat. All you have to do is comment his name. And I think for some of our platforms, it's even on the screen right now. So that's all you have to comment. And then we're going to...
Wow. Man, you're making it hard, Tara. Gee.
That's all you have to comment. And then we're going to DM the winner after this.
I'm going to have to reconsider getting somebody else in here to do these questions.
Oh, no.
Gifts, because this is ridiculous.
You want a formulaic math question for him?
Yeah, I think we need to do some math equations or something,
We'll have one of those next time. We'll give away a real big giveaway for the winner of that one.
Okay.
And while they're commenting that, I did have one last question for you. From starting your business over the past 16 years, did you have any inspiration or podcasts or books or TV shows that you kind of turned to kind of help inspire the way you run your business or get inspiration just about business in general?
Yeah, as far as podcasts go, I've been on a bunch of podcasts. I don't know, 12 or 15 of them. From Art Junkies to, Clint Aikens, which I see he's on there today. What's up, Clint? A lot of different podcasts, and there's so many of them. Can't even hardly think of any of them to name right off the bat. But as far as like other stuff that I've been involved in, we were in a Cypher newspaper not too long ago. Mm-hmm. That was good. Been in a lot of magazines. Recently, we just got on the front cover of Welding Productivity.
Yes, that was for that June.
I'm very excited about that. You guys remember I was on the front cover of the Welder magazine, I think back in last October. Now we're on the Welding Productivity. So welding tips and tricks, Richard's saying. Yeah. Anyway, that's about it. Been on a lot of magazines, a lot of shows, and enjoyed it. Definitely have made a life for myself. It wasn't always, candy canes and lollipops, but it was a struggle at many times. But I'm very blessed. I'm a very blessed man.
A lot of hard work too, though.
A lot of hard work. Yeah. A lot of hard work. Yeah, if you're thinking of getting business for yourself, sit back and think about it before you do it. It's a lot.
All right. Well, then, any last words just about business in general or anything like that? That's all the questions I have for you today.
We're busy right now, JK. We're extremely busy. We're more busier now than we have been all year. I think COVID's starting to go away and things are really picking up. I see the oil prices are picking up as well. So, hey, hopefully everything is moving upward and everyone's starting to become a little bit more positive. I see a lot more people coming back to work now because I used to take Beltway 8 to work. Can't do that no more.
Yeah, traffic's getting worse.
Oh, it's getting bad. So I'm back on 99 again, paying them daily toll fees, But that's all right. I do the speed limit on there, so
sure you do.
I get to work on time.
The recommended speed.
Recommended speed, yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, definitely follow his new Instagram, The King of Welding. it's going to be quite interesting. There's already quite a few interesting posts on there that I sometimes have heart attacks about. So definitely make sure you follow him, and then we'll be posting in the coming weeks about next month's show. And if there's any questions that y'all have that we maybe didn't answer and you'd like us to talk about, definitely comment those on the post, and we'll reach them next week or next month.
Take time to appreciate everybody that's I can't even talk today. Appreciate everyone that has watched the show today.
Yes.
And tune in next month, and we'll do it again, and maybe we'll pick some different topics and different things and different stuff to give away. So appreciate it. Everybody have a good day. Enjoy your 4th of July weekend. It's a 3-day weekend, hopefully, for you. It is for us.
Very excited.
Thanks a lot. Safe travels. See you later.